Good morning, students. In the last lecture we discussed lesson 5, that was 100 dresses 1. Okay, and we had studied some part of that lesson, and today we will do the next part. But before we start, let's summarize what we have already read. Now this is the story of a girl, Wanda Petnosky. Wanda Petnosky, she was a Polish girl and she lived in America and studied in an American school, and she had a name which was quite different, unusual name she had, and her friends, her classmates, Peggy and Mary, they made fun of her. They called her different names, and they even asked, because she was a poor girl, she wore only one dress, and they made fun of her. They asked her how many dresses she had, and she always answered that question as she had 100 dresses all lined up, and she had 60 pairs of shoes, and that made Peggy think that why she was lying, and she just want to know, she just want to make other realize also that she was telling lie. She had no 100 dresses, she always wore a faded blue dress, and that all made this story. And now how they bullied her, how they tease her, and that is all given, that how in student life we never consider how they are, what the kind of talent they have, but we just look for their dresses, their outlook, and we never consider their qualities, and we bully them. So this is what this story is all about, and next part we will study that how she came, these two girls, they came to know about Wanda Petnosky, that what type of girl she was actually. Now as it is given, as for Maddie, this business of asking Wanda every day how many dresses and how many hats and how many this and that she had was bothering her. Actually, Maddie was quite sympathetic to that girl Wanda Petnosky, but she could not be her side because she was also a poor girl who got some dresses from Peggy, and what she thought, if she would favor her, she would be the next target. She would be asking, maybe Peggy would be making fun of her. So she just wanted to stop that all, but she could not do. And Maddie was poor herself. She usually wore somebody's hand-me-on-down clothes. Hand-me-down means old clothes, worn-out clothes. Thanks goodness, she did not live up on Boggin Heights or have a funny name. The one thing that was in her favor was that she did not live on Boggin Heights and she did not have a funny name. These were the two things. That's why nobody made fun of her, but she was afraid of that she could be the target. Sometimes when Peggy was asking Wanda those questions in that mocking polite voice, Maddie felt embarrassed and studied the marbles in the palm of her hand, rolling them around and saying nothing herself. And when Peggy asked these questions to Wanda, Maddie felt nervous, she felt embarrassed, and she just played on marbles and could say nothing at all. Not that she felt sorry for Wanda exactly. Actually, she was sorry for Wanda, but not that much. She would never have paid any attention to Wanda if Peggy had not invented the dress game. So Maddie would not have she was never interested in Wanda's life if Peggy would not have started that game, dress game. She would not have asked questions about dress. So she would never have paid attention to Wanda. But suppose Peggy and all the others started in on her next. Now what she was afraid of, if they would start the same to Maddie. And she was not as poor as Wanda perhaps, but she was poor. She was not as much poor as Wanda, but she was also poor. She also wore old dresses. And of course, she would have more sense than to say she had 100 dresses. And of course, she would have more sense than to say she had 100 dresses, that she could reply well to that question. Because Wanda always replied she had 100 dresses. But she did not want to reply the same way. She had some sense, she said. And still, she would not like for them to begin on her. But she did not want to be the next target. She did not want that others should target her, others should say about her. She wished Peggy would stop teasing Wanda Petnosky. Now, but what she wanted Peggy to stop making fun of Wenda. Today, even though they had been late to school, Maddie was glad she had not had to make fun of Wenda. They had late for school, they were waiting for Wenda to come, but she did not come, and Maddie was quite happy that they did not make fun of her. She worked her arithmetic problems absent-mindedly, 8 times 8, let's see. She wished she had the nerve to write Peggy a note because she knew she never would have the courage to speak right out to Peggy. So now, what she wanted, she just wanted to gather that courage to write a letter to Peggy that she should stop making fun of Wenda. But she could not, because she could not directly say her that she should stop all that. And hey Peggy, let's stop asking Wenda how many dresses she has. She just wanted to write these lines. She said she should stop asking. When she finished her arithmetic, she did start a note to Peggy. She started writing a note to Peggy. Suddenly, she paused and shuddered. But suddenly what happened? She stopped and she was afraid. She pictured herself in the schoolyard, a new target for Peggy and the girls. And what she thought, now what she was thinking, that if she stops Peggy from doing all that, now she imagined that she would be the next target for Peggy and other girls. Peggy might ask her where she got the dress that she had on, and Maddie would have to say it was of Peggy's old ones that Maddie's mother had tried to disguise with some new trimmings so no one in the room 13 would recognize it. Actually, now what she thought, that she did not want to be the target for Peggy and the other girls, because Peggy would ask her about the dress and she would have to say that was Peggy's dress, because her mother, what she did, she just altered some made some alteration in the dress so that nobody in the room could recognize that. If only Peggy would decide of her own accord to stop having fun with Wenda. Now what she was thinking, that someday maybe Peggy would stop asking Wenda these questions. Oh well, Maddie ran her hand through her short blonde hair as though to push the uncomfortable thoughts away. Now as she was feeling uncomfortable, she just tried to put her uncomfortable feelings through by putting her hand on the hair. Now what difference did it make? How make it difference? How it is different? No. Slowly Maddie tore into bits the note she had started, and Maddie tore that note, what she was writing to Peggy. And she was Peggy's best friend. Maddie was Peggy's best friend, and Peggy was the best liked girl in the whole room. And Peggy was the best girl liked in the whole room. She was the best girl in the school class. Peggy could not possibly do anything that was really wrong, she thought. And what she thought, that Peggy would never do anything that would be wrong. Okay. So as for Wenda, she was just some girl who lived up on Boggin Heights and stood alone in the schoolyard. Actually, she wanted to favor Wenda, but she couldn't do. And she says that she is some girl who lives in Boggin Heights and she lives in the stood alone in the schoolyard. What happened? What's there? She scarcely ever said anything to anybody, but she never said anything to anybody. She never opened her feelings. And the only time she talked was in the schoolyard about her 100 dresses. And Wenda, she never talked in the school. She talked only when she was asked about her dresses. Maddie remembered her telling about one of her dresses, pale blue with colored trimmings. So Maddie remembered her telling about one of her dresses, pale blue, that was, Maddie would be telling about her dress, pale blue, that was colored trimmings. And she remembered another that was brilliant jingle green with a red sash. You would look like a Christmas tree in that, the girl had said in pretended admiration. And the other girls, they had said her that she would just look like a Christmas tree, and that was a false admiration, pretended admiration. Thinking about Wenda and her 100 dresses all lined up in the closet, Maddie began to wonder who was going to win the drawing and coloring contest. Actually, now there was a drawing and coloring contest in the school, and all were participating, and she started thinking that who was going to win that. For girls, this contest consists of designing dresses, and for boys of designing motorboats. For boys it was designing motorboats, and for the girls they had to design beautiful dresses. Probably Peggy would win the girls medal. So now what Maddie was thinking, that Peggy would win the girls medal. At least that's what everybody thought, and everybody was thinking the same, so she would win that. She could copy. Yes, now Peggy drew better than anybody else in the room. At least that's what everybody thought. Everybody thought the same, that Peggy would win that. She could copy a picture in a magazine or some film stars had, so that you could almost tell who it was. And she drew the picture so well that anybody could recognize, even the faces, they could be easily recognized. Oh, Maddie was sure Peggy would win because she was good at drawing, so Peggy would win the medal. Tomorrow the teacher was going to announce the winner. And then they would know. The teacher was going to announce the result tomorrow, and they would know the result. Next day it was drizzling. Next day it was raining. Maddie and Peggy hurried to school under Peggy's umbrella. So Peggy and Maddie, they hurried to school, and naturally on that day like this, they did not wait for Wenda Petnowski on the corner of Oliver Street. Every day they waited for Wenda to come, and they asked her about the dresses. But that day, as it was drizzling, it was a light rain, so they did not stop, and they directly went to the class. Okay, and the street that far away under the railroad track and up the hill led to Boggins Heights. Okay, and that was the way from where Wenda Petnowski came. Anyway, they were not taking chances on being late today because today was important. As today was an important day, the drawing competition result was to be announced. So they did not wait for Wenda Petnowski, and they directly came to school. Do you think Miss Mason will announce the winner today? Asked Peggy. Now Peggy asked, do you think the result will be announced today? Oh, I hope so. The minute we get in, said Maddie, of course you will win, Peggy. Now Maddie was sure that Peggy would win the medal, and she said that of course you will win. Hope so, said Peggy eagerly. The minute they entered the class, they stopped short and gasped. And as soon as they entered the class, it was quite a shock for them. It was a big surprise for them. Why? Their mouths were left open. Why? Because there were drawings all over the room, on over the ledge, window seat, dazzling colors, and brilliant, lavish designs, all drawn on great sheets of wrapping papers. So there were dresses all around, designed, and they were of brilliant colors, wonderful designs, lavish designs, very grand designs. Okay, brilliant colors, all were there, and they were all in the room. There were about many dresses lined up. These must be drawings for the contest, they were. And but they thought that they would be the drawings sent by all the contestants, all the participants in the class. They were. Everybody stopped and whistled or murmured admiringly. Everybody admired those drawings because they were so beautifully designed. As soon as the class had assembled, Miss Mason announced the winners. So now she came and she announced the winners. Jack Buggles had won for the boys, she said. Now Jack Buggles had won the boys competition. He had drawn motorboat, and his design for an outboard motor was on exhibition in room 12 along with the sketches by all the other boys. So in the room number 12, his drawing was displayed, and he had won that. And as for the girls, she said, although just 1 or 2 sketches were submitted by most, one girl, and room 13 should be proud of her. Actually, what ma'am said, that all the girls, they submitted 1 or 2 designs, but one of the girl in room number 13, you should be all proud of her. This girl actually drew 100 designs. Now what ma'am told, that this girl had designed 100 dresses, all different and all beautiful. In the opinion of the judges, any one of the drawing is worthy of winning the prize. Any one, all these dresses are the winning dresses, because they all are the beautiful dresses. I am very happy to say that, and she announced the result, and she said that Wanda Petnosky is the winner of girls medal. She has won girls medal. Unfortunately, Wanda was absent from school for some days and is not here to receive the applause, and that is due to her. And now that day also, for the last 3 days she was not in the school, and that day also she did not come, and she had to receive those applause and the medal also, but she was not there to receive all that. Let us hope she will be back tomorrow, and all they hope that now she would be back tomorrow. Now she was the star of the class. She was the one who had some talent which they could not recognize, which all the other students could not recognize. And but they always bullied her, teased her, and they made fun of her about her dresses and of her poverty. And now the class, you may file around the room quietly and look at this acrylic drawings. And she, the teacher, asked all the students to just take a round in the class and see these extremely beautiful and well-made designs. The children burst into applause, and even the boys were glad to have a chance to stamp on the floor, put their fingers in their mouths and whistle, though they were not interested in dresses. So children, they were all very happy. They applauded for her, and even the boys, those who were not interested in dresses at all, they were also very happy, and they whistled. "Look, Peg," whispered Maddie, "there is a blue dress she told us about. Isn't it beautiful?" Now they came to know that why she always said 100 dresses lined up, all lined up. So she said, now you can understand, this is the blue dress she is always talking about. "And yes," said Peggy, "and here is that green one, boy, and I thought I could draw. And here is that green one, green dress that she talked about. Oh, I wish I could draw like that." So that is what this story now ends there in the first part. It is a 100 dresses 1, and the next part, it is continuation of this chapter. But in this chapter we come to know that how these children, how they did not take her, they could not understand Wanda Petnosky. They never tried to understand what is her condition, what are her hidden talents, but they always made fun of her. This is what we do many times in our school also with our classmates. So this gives a great lesson to all of us that we should not stop doing all these things. We should never bully others, rather we should applaud them, praise them, encourage them, so that they can also grow in life. They should not feel disappointed. So now next part we would come to know whether Wanda Petnosky would come to school to receive her medal, or what happened to her, why she was not coming to school. This is all a part of the next story. So with that, thank you.